Hello everyone, this is Funny. You are watching FunHS Info. Today I am going to talk about the remaining chapters, chapter 8, 9, 10 and 11 of Factories Act. Starting with the chapter 8. The chapter 8 focused on annual leave wages. The sections in this chapter are from 78 to 84. Section 78 application of the chapter, 79 annual leave wages, 80 wages during leave period, 81 payment in advance in certain cases, 82 mode of recovery of the unpaid wages, 83 power to make rules, 84 power to exempt factories. The Factories Act has provided annual earned leave of 12 working days for all the workers who have worked at least 240 days in a year. Workers are paid their usual daily wages rates for the days of earned leave. The worker is paid his full daily wage during the term of annual leave. If a worker takes 4 or more days leave at a time, his wages are paid before the leave begins. A worker may take all or portion of annual leave provided that he or she notifies the employer in writing at least 15 days prior to the date of availing annual leave, and such request may not be refused unless it contradicts with the scheme of leave already agreed. Even when in portion, annual leave cannot be taken more than 3 times a year. Annual leave may be carried over, however no more than 30 days can be carried over the next year. If the employment contract expires before a worker could take annual leave, compensation for leave is made in proportion to the number of months and number of hours worked in a week. Chapter 9 Special Provisions. Chapter 9 focused on special provisions, and the sections includes from 85 to 91A. Whereas the sections are Section 85 power to apply the Act to certain premises, 86 power to exempt the public institutions, 87 dangerous operations, 87A power to prohibit employment on account of serious hazard, 88 notice of the certain accidents, 88A notice of certain dangerous occurrences, 89 notice of certain diseases, 90 power to direct enquiry into case of accident or disease, 91 power to take samples, and 91A safety and occupational health surveys. Let me brief some of the important points of this chapter. Whereas state government is of the opinion that manufacturing process or operations exposes any persons employed in it to a serious risk, bodily injury, poisoning or disease, it may make rules prohibiting or restricting the employment of women, adolescent or children in dangerous operations, providing periodical medical examinations of a persons employed or seeking to employed in the manufacturing process or operations, and prohibiting the employment of certified unfit persons and requiring the payment fees by the occupier for such medical examinations, providing for the protection of all persons employed in the manufacturing process or operations or in the vicinity of places where it is carried on, prohibiting, restricting or controlling the use of any specified materials or processes in the connection with the manufacturing process or operations, requiring the provisions of additional welfare amenities and sanitary facilities and supply of protective equipment and clothing, employment of affected persons with the incident shall be paid with wages and other benefits by the occupier, provided alternative employment wherever possible, wherein any factory, any accident causes death or bodily injury shall be sent notice to authorities by prescribed form. If any worker in the factory contact any diseases specified in the third schedule, the manager of the factory shall send a notice to authorities. Chapter 10 of Factories Act, the penalties and procedure. Under the law, punishments for breaking a law, rule or contract are called penalties. Penalties vary with the level of damage to the organization, repetition of the mistakes, etc. Factories too define certain rules and regulations in order to maintain discipline in the factory. The Factories Act has a certain rules in the form of provisions, breaking of which leads to penalties. This chapter includes the sections from 92 to 106. These sections are Section 92 General Penalty for Offences, 93 Liability of owner of premises in certain circumstances, 94 Enhanced penalty after previous conviction, 95 Penalty for obstructing inspector, 96 Penalty for wrongfully disclosing result of analysis under section 91, 96A Penalty for contravention of provisions of section 41B, 41C and 41H, 97 Offences by worker, 98 Penalty for using false certificate of fitness, 99 Penalty for permitting double employment of child, section 101 Exemption of occupier or manager from liability in certain cases, 102 Power of court to make orders, 103 Presumption as to employment, 104 Honest as to age, 104A Proving limits of what is practicable, etc. 105 Cognizance of offences, 106 Limitation of prosecution. Let me a brief note on these sections. Section 92 General Penalty for Offences. This section states that in case there is any kind of contraventions with the laws of act, then the occupier and manager of the factory will be equally responsible for breaking the law. They will be punishable for within imprisonment of 2 years and fine up to 2 lakhs. In case they continue the breach, they will be punished with rupees 10,000 each day of continuing breach. Section 93. This section states that in case of factory is on lease to various occupiers, the owner of the factory is responsible for providing and maintaining certain services like drainage, approach roads, water supply, electricity, lighting, sanitization, etc. Section 94. This section states that firstly, if there is any person in the factory who does any general offense and repeats it, then he will be punishable with imprisonment up to 3 years or fine of at least 10,000 rupees or both. Secondly, in order to find the applicability of this provision, the manager should only count the offences within at least 2 years of the latest offense. Section 95. This section states that whoever obstruct an inspector in the exercise of any power conferred on him by or under this act or fails to produce on demand by an inspector, then the person will be punishable with imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to 10,000 or both. This also applies to the case where a person prevents any worker in the factory from appearing before or being examined by an inspector. Section 96. This section states that any person who publishes or discloses to any other person the result of analysis made by taking samples shall be punishable with imprisonment for term which may be extended to 6 months. Moreover, he is punishable with fine at least 10,000. Section 97. This section states that if any worker working in a factory contravenes with the rules or provisions of the act creating liabilities for the workers, will be punishable with fine at least 500 rupees. Section 98. Fitness certificate states the level of fitness of an individual for a particular job in the factory. This section punishes those workers who try to present a false certificate of fitness. If anyone tried to do so, he will be punishable with imprisonment of 2 months. Moreover, he may be punishable with a fine at least 10,000. In certain cases, punished with fine and imprisonment. Section 99. This section states that firstly, if a child works in a factory and works with another factory on the same day, then his parents will be punishable. They will be punishable with an offence of 1000 rupees. Secondly, this case also applies to the person who get benefit from such child's wages. Section 101. This section provides an opportunity to managers and occupiers of the factory who have done offence to prove themselves non-guilty. Firstly, he has complied with all provisions of the Act, and secondly, someone else is the real culprit and he didn't know about the offences being done by the real offender. Section 102. This section states that powers of the court in case of any manager does any offence under this Act, the court along with punishing the offenders can take steps in remedying the situation. Section 103. This section states that if any person is near any machinery in the factory during the working hours, then he will be considered as a worker of the factory. Section 104. This section states that a declaration in writing by a certifying surgeon relating to a worker that he has personally examined him and believes him to be under the age stated in such declaration shall as evidence of age of that worker. Section 105. This section states that no court shall take cognizance of any offence under this Act except on complaint by on which previous sanction in writing of an inspector. And Section 106. This section states that no court shall take cognizance of any offence punishable under this Act unless complaint thereof is made within 3 months of the date on which he alleged commissioning of offence came to the knowledge of an inspector. The Chapter 11 Supplemental. This chapter includes the sections from 107 to 120. The sections are 107 Appeals, 108 Display of Notices, 109 Service of Notices, 110 Returns, 111 Obligations of the Workers and a Right of Workers, 112 General Power to make rules, 113 Powers of Central Government to give directions, 114 No charge for facilities and conveniences, 115 Publications of rules, 116 Application of the Act to government factories, 117 Protection of the persons acting under this Act, 118 Restriction on disclosure of information, 119 Act to have effect notwithstanding anything contained in Act 37 of 1970, and 120 Repeal and Savings. Let me brief the important points in this chapter are: all notices required by under this Act are to be displayed in the factory shall be in English and in a language understood by majority of the workers in the factory, and shall be displayed at some conspicuous and convenient places at the near main entrance to the factory, and shall be maintained in the clean and legible condition. No worker in the factory shall willfully interfere with misuse any appliances, convenience and other things provided in a factory for the purpose of securing health, safety or welfare of the workers. Every worker shall have a right to obtain from the occupier the information relating the worker's health and safety at work, get trained within the factory wherever possible, or to get himself sponsored by the occupier for getting trained at a training center or institute duly approved by the chief inspector, where the training is imparted for workers' health and safety at work. No fees or charge shall be realized from any worker in respect of any arrangements or facilities to be provided or any equipment or appliances to be supplied by the occupier under the provision of this act. Every inspector shall treat as a confidential the source of any complaint brought to his notice on breach of any provisions of this act.